Good morning. I want to talk about the 914 delivery we did in La Cañada. I'm back in the garage now, and that was really fun, man. All my friends showed up. It was really good to see everybody. That was a great event, and everything went perfectly. I did a video, and actually, it was my first video that I edited. So I was able to edit that film, and my buddy Mike did all the filming there, the videoing, and it was just cool to see all the guys. It was a very nice event. Check out that video; that's really cool. Anyhow, so the 60 Notchback 356 that we're doing, 62 I believe it was. Anyways, that car we're doing now. We tore it down. I did a video on the long block tear down of that. Everything is going to get out to where it needs to go. So we did see silicone on the case, so I decided to go ahead and split it. I'm going to share with you what I found inside. It's kind of interesting to see the inside of the motor. A lot of guys don't get to see that. I just find it really cool to check out. So let me go over it, and you can see what's going on. Okay, so let's see, where do we even start? Let's start with the silicone. Okay, so silicone, shouldn't use it, of course. You can see how it balls up on the inside when you squeeze it together. There's a piece right there. It's everywhere. The case, we talked about earlier, it had been fixed at the oil cooler. Let's go there real quick. You can see there where it was welded, and this is not an easy fix. The other one we got in the shop now is getting repaired. Dave have cut the piece out already and welded it in, and the new kid there is a great welder. His work is beautiful. Wait till I show you what he's done on the other case. But you can see the gumball they put there. I think what I'm going to do is clean it up a little more, because it was actually pretty hard to get the oil cooler nut off of there. It barely clears. So, but the good news is it was not leaking. It was really dry in there. You didn't see any signs of new leaking coming out of there. So you can see, as I rotate it here, how it was repaired. So anyhow, that's this side of the block. Now let's go over. Let's get towards the inside here. Everything is cool on the cover. The issue that does create a knock on these motors at an idle, and I'll show you that, is the fuel pump. I'm sorry, the oil pump, where it goes into the camshaft. You can see how it's kind of beat up on the tips there where it rotates on, okay? So when they're worn like that, and then the camshaft bore where that sits is worn, so you can see there. See how that's worn in? Okay, so that creates a clacking sound. At idle, it'll sound like you're losing a rod or something. And then when you rev it up, it goes away. That's usually what that sound is from. Unfortunately, this motor had some kind of abrasive material in it. I don't know if it was like a rust or what was in it, but the bearings, you can, on the bottom of the pan, it has like a silt, and it's kind of, like I said, like an abrasive. And what it had done is, when we look at the bearings, you can see, let me get my hand clean here. Okay. When you get to the bearings, they're really chewed up, like it, almost like it had sand in it. This bearing really bad, severely bad. Look, let me see if I can get you to see this. You see how that looks? Look how torn up that is. It really looks like it had an abrasive in there, and it's super rough. Like I mean, it was just grinding away at it, right? And you can see, yeah, right there. You can see how rough that is. Okay, so that's the bearings that were in this there. And the reason there's a couple ideas I have, but look at the rod bearing. Look at that. You see how bad that is? It's not worn down to the copper, but it is really an aggressive scratch. So obviously something was going through this motor that was really scratching it. And I've sized this out. It's a standard, K-standard bearing, main is standard. And the crank itself is, it's standard on the rods. This can be polished, but I'm really concerned about this. This has really got it's got a really bad pattern on it, scratch-wise. It's not smooth at all, and I don't know if that can be polished out to put new bearings and keeping it standard. So we, the guys on all of us, we, I know they really do what they can to try to keep everything standard. So that's what we're hoping we can do. It's just really odd the way it's worn. I've not seen this worn out like scratched so bad like that deep. And then if you look at the followers almost look like they're pitted, like they were crushing rocks kind of look. It's kind of odd, but let me see if I can get you in there. Yeah, see that? See, it looks like they're not concaved, which does happen when they wear out, they get concaved. And it's got like a weird pattern on there. I mean, it really looks like it's had an aggressive, something like, I don't know if I don't want to say sand, but something was in there eating them up. The oil pump gears, they don't look worn out, but the way this is, like I said, this is not good. I wouldn't use that. On my magnet, there's a lot of, there's metallic on there. It just got that, like literally like there was almost like a sanding or sandblasting media in there, going, just having its way with everything. Camshaft, it's a standard camshaft. The lobes are, their lobes aren't they're not so great. I could see the tips there. I did see some chips out of one of them. Let's see where that was. Yeah, you can see how rough it is. How rough that area right there is. It's kind of, it's pretty beat up, reality of it. Oops, okay. So, in the story, I'm going to take the crank, see if it can be polished. I'll put it up on the polisher at Ollie's. We'll polish that up, see if it can come out and stay in tolerance. Obviously, new bearings, rods, all that's going to get done. Parts to get, going to be the way this looks here. I'm going to vouch for a new camshaft, obviously. Cam followers, I'll see what can happen. I think they can face these again. If not, we'll get a set. Oil pan. Real quick talk about the oil pan. This is usually your problem for leaking oil right there. It's a copper rivet. It gets loose and the magnet will move around and you'll get a leak out of there. Okay, so what I do is I put this on a metal surface and I get a flat chisel and run it down the bore and I bang it and flatten it out again, which flares it out, and then that will repair the leak that you'll get here. But obviously you got to have the pan out of the car. A couple of side notes: the through bolts on the case, one side is concave right there for the O-ring. These were all on the case backwards, so there was no O-rings on the bolts, on the through bolts on the case, which is 6 of them. So that was not a good thing either. The flywheel seal was still pliable. It was soft, so it had been replaced. The seal on the front pulley, absolutely hard as a rock. Can't even move it. So that hadn't been changed for a long time. So that's that. And the piston cylinder, the other end of it was in my other video. There was a nut, a 6mm nut sitting by the gear. It was sitting right there on that ledge, just sitting there. How it stayed there, no idea. It was just there when I opened it up. I believe it was a nut from the wires that go to the generator. So anyhow, so that's where we're at. You can see here's the other bearing right there, and you can see how it's pretty worn out, pretty aggressively worn out. So anyway, so we're going to send all this stuff out, start looking for a couple parts, and get that back together for the car. Louis painting the car now, and like I said, silicone, let's not use it. Don't use it. Stop people from using it. Not good. You can see all this stuff ends up in the oil galleys, and we'll plug it up, and then you're bad. So by the way, the the oil plungers were loose. They were not stuck, which is good. So that's just another thing I wanted to share. And that's what it is. So anyway, so that's the 356 for the notchback. I'm going to send this over to the owner, let him know what's going on with it, and get all this stuff the appropriate places to get done. It was a good thing to split the case. We did find some bad news in there, but that, as aggressive as those bearings are worn out, that was going to fail. It wasn't going to get very much time on it, that's for sure. So I'm gonna do some video. I'll do video and we build all this up. The 3.8 is getting built up next, and now that I know how to edit, I'm gonna do some building videos that will show all pieces going in together, which is gonna be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. It did take me a little bit to figure that stuff out, but I got it now, so very exciting. So if you like our channel, subscribe. I keep asking. I watch a lot of videos, and everybody asks. I almost don't want to be a broken record, but the subscription is a really cool thing, and hit your likes. Really appreciate it. And we're going to be starting up the 904 here Tuesday, working on it today, tomorrow. I think we'll have it running by the end of the day on Wednesday. So there you go, another week. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you on the 904 next, okay? And then the race car, we're going to work on that on Thursday. Thursday's the day for that one. So, all right, we'll talk to you later.